Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. This is your tarot and oracle reading for the week ahead whenever you're finding it. If you're watching along as I post because you're subscribed, this will be for the week of June 24th to the 30th, 2024. First card out for you is the 4th chakra in reverse with Archangel Raphael. Okay, Sagittarius, so there could be some blockages in your heart chakra right now. Some energies that have been swept under the rug, feelings that have been swept under the rug that are really wanting to be felt and processed and released at this time. So give yourself the time and the space to be upset, to be resentful, to be whatever it is that you're feeling, and just be that and let it work its way out, because all things must flow through you. Okay, if you are wanting a darkness to end in your life, wanting a pattern to cease, you have to work through it. You can't just ignore it. It won't just go away. You know, once an emotion is felt within you, it has to be processed. And if you sweep those emotions under the rug and you don't take the time to feel them emotionally and work through them consciously, your organs, your body has to process them. They will come out, they will seep out of your life unconsciously and can cause so many issues, so many health issues, so many issues in relationships, and you'll unconsciously be attracted to the people, the environments, the situations that will allow that emotion to seep out of you. So that's why it's so important to awaken your heart chakra and allow for any emotions that reside there the space and permission to come to the surface, to come forward. Okay, so feel your feelings, guys. I would do very heart-centered things this week if I were you. Honestly, you know, there's this practice that I did, was it years ago now? Or maybe it was last year, 1 or 2 years ago, where I forced myself to journal 3 whole big pages of paper. What am I saying? I had to journal 3 pages every single day. And I had to force myself to do it. And all of this stuff started coming through that I didn't even realize I was still like sad about. You know, I started crying one time over my dog who had died years prior. And I never cried for her. And then when I'm journaling, I was forcing myself to journal, I randomly started getting sad about her. And it all came through the journal because I was forcing myself to write without overthinking it, without, you know, letting anybody ever read what I wrote, just writing truly what was on my mind, what was coming up. And all of this stuff started flowing through. And I feel like that's like one of the best exercises you can do to get energy moving again in your heart chakra. So I highly recommend journaling every day this week if I were you. Okay, and if you're upset over anything, let yourself feel those feelings, you know. Don't even worry about being productive this week is what I want to say, Sagittarius. I don't know what you're going through or what happened or, you know, what's coming up for you, but Spirit is saying, like, don't worry about being productive. Don't worry about, you know, making sure your house is immaculate and clean and organized. Like, this is all about heart-based healing. Be messy. You know, let yourself not be perfect for once. We have the sun coming out in reverse. Yeah, the sun will come out again. The sun is within you. There is light within you that is shadowed by unprocessed wounds. The masks that society conditions us to wear. You know, all of these things that are layered upon us from birth. It masks out your inner light, and that's what causes depression from a spiritual perspective. That's what causes depression, anxiety, all of these challenges. It makes us feel like there's just shadows lurking, that we're deep in hopeless, shadowy energies. You know, that light, that home, that inner peace, it's always within you. You don't need to find it outside of yourself through drugs, alcohol, experiences, gurus, teachers. Like, no, it's already within you. You just need to remove. The key is removing the pent-up emotions and masks and things that are darkening that inner light. And to do that, there's many ways to do that. Meditation, journaling, release, letting go. We have observer. Oh my gosh. And look, this fox is looking at the moon. The moon represents emotions. The moon represents the unconscious, our psychic connection, our spiritual connection. So the fact that he's observing the moon, observing your emotions, observing how you're feeling right now, what is that telling you? Stop gaslighting yourself, Sagittarius. I can feel that you're gaslighting yourself, sitting here like, oh, I'm overreacting. Or, oh, like I shouldn't be feeling this way. No, shut up. You should be. There is a reason why you have certain feelings. Stop gaslighting yourself emotionally. Oh my God. It's okay to be feeling what you're feeling. There are reasons for everything that you feel. Okay? An overreaction is when you let those feelings act out physically in a way that's too much. That's an overreaction. Having the feeling in the first place is not an overreaction, okay? Your feelings are valid, and they come from somewhere very logical, something that makes sense, and even when you can't make sense of why you're feeling a certain way, it's important for you to just feel that and move through it and grieve and allow that space to be unpacked. And that's why journaling is so impactful, because you can take that emotion and be like, why am I feeling this emotion? What is triggering this emotion? And that can connect your logic mind from your emotional mind, and realizing, no, my feelings are perfectly valid. My feelings do make sense because the third happened, or this little thing that this person did triggered a bigger issue that's going on in the world that's a big bother to me. Therefore, my emotions towards this are valid. And it just allows you to process, unpack. I'm seeing so much emotional work taken. Oh my gosh. First tarot card out is the Queen of Water. Exactly. And the Queen of Water is someone who allows themselves the space for the emotion. She's literally in the water, deep within emotions. Water represents your emotions. It represents the flow of them. It represents the flow of energy. Water and the moon are deeply connected for that reason. They both represent emotions. And the Queen of Water is somebody who has mastered their emotions, and they allow themselves the time and the space to flow with them, to process them, to protect them as well, to protect their heart. The Queen of Water is someone with immaculate boundaries, actually, which is ironic because water is boundless. Okay, but it needs boundaries in order to exist. Otherwise, it can't exist. Queen of Waters is a master of protecting her heart, okay, because she allowed herself to grieve, to process the things that have happened to her, to feel all of her feelings, and she's wiser because of that. And now she protects her heart deeply, fiercely, because she knows the signs, the symptoms of when someone should not have access to our heart. You have to earn my trust, and we build trust slowly, healthily, naturally. I don't just overshare. I don't just give it all away to you at once. I don't just give you all of the benefits of being with me all at once. Wow, this is something new that's coming through in a reading. With these I do so many readings so often, and there's oftentimes collective messages that come through. This message is completely new. Has never come through in a reading. But it's so simple. It's something that a lot of people preach. But a lot of people preach in an incorrect way that's very dogmatic. And the message is this. You have to realize how valuable you are and not give away that value to anyone who comes by. Okay? Now, the reason why I say a lot of people preach this in a dogmatic way is because they're doing it in a religious way. Like, oh, you should stay a virgin till marriage. You should do this, that, the third, and blah, 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 blah. You should cover up. You shouldn't, let anyone see any part of your skin or hair or anything, because that's not what we're talking about. I'm not tying this to any religion. And if you are somebody who feels you're most divine, you're most free in go boots and nothing else walking down the street, then by all means do that, safely. Don't get arrested. I don't care, but there are parts of you that are divine, and you should be very careful about who you share those parts of you with. Now, here's the thing. Let's just use the example of casual sex, okay? I don't care if you have casual sex, have fun. It's great. I love it. But, you need to build trust up with that person first if you don't want to get hurt, okay? If you don't want to get hurt, So what are some boundaries with that? You know, you're not going to let someone raw dog you first night you meet them. Unless you want some stranger's baby or diseases or whatever it may be. Like, there's boundaries to these things. And for some people, you know, their boundaries may be a little bit higher. Like, they don't want to do that at all because they themselves know that they get attached to people. And they have that sort of personality that will nurture and love and care for someone even if they only sleep with them once. To them, it's more sacred. It's more like they're going to be giving more for that interaction. There are other people who don't care at all about someone who they sleep with. And therefore, that's fine. You know, if they're comfortable with that, that is fine. And that doesn't make them any less valuable. We all have different things. Like, for example, someone may view holding someone's hand as the most intimate thing they could possibly do. Whereas someone else may hold all of their friends' hands and it's fine. It's just holding hand. Like, what do you mean? You know? Some people may get really nervous about eating in front of people. Like, simply eating a meal in front of some people. To them, for some reason, that's a very vulnerable thing to do. You know, we all have our different things that are vulnerable, that we start caring about someone. We start giving them pieces of our heart, our energy. And that's something that you give away, by the way. You know, when you start having feelings for someone, you are sending them so much positive energy. And where your energy goes, attention flows, and vice versa. Where your attention goes, energy flows. And that's why the wisdom of the Queen of Water is to know yourself. And to know who and where you should direct your energy, as well as your emotions. Okay, so it's knowing yourself so well, knowing exactly the things that happen that make you catch feelings, and being very selective about who gets these intimate parts of you. Because when you give those parts, your feelings, away, that's what we're talking about, feelings. It has nothing to do with your body. It has nothing to do with your looks, your feelings, your personality, your care. When you give that away to people who do not reciprocate, they don't care about you. Damage happens to your heart chakra, and this has already happened. This is what you're healing from this week. And you're stepping out on the other side of that healing as this Queen of Water. Okay. A lot of you guys are valuing yourself more than you ever have. Yeah, 8 of Air in reverse. You don't want to be trapped emotionally. You don't want to trap yourself emotionally. And also, you don't want to be with somebody who locks you away. You know, we all heard the story about princesses locked away in their castles. And this story still plays out in so many people's lives to this day. These beautiful, gorgeous women or men getting into relationships, and they have personality, they have good looks, they have, you know, they're just glowing. They're very in touch with themselves. Getting into relationships with people who may be extremely jealous, possessive, and they try clipping their wings over time, chipping away at their soul. Not allowing them to see certain friends or family or dress the way they want to dress or do the things they want to do. That stuff chips away at your soul. Even if it's subconscious, even if it is so covert, these manipulations, they could trap you using passive aggression. Passive aggression. My ability to speak has disintegrated these past few years because most of the people in my life do not speak English as a first language. So if any of you are wondering why I constantly stutter, that's why. Yeah, let's see. Let's keep moving on. Okay. Oh my gosh. We have the Empress, and she came out alongside the Five of Earth. Two very different cards, because the Five of Earth shows a lack, not knowing your worth. But then the Empress is somebody who absolutely knows her worth. 100% knows her worth. Oh my gosh. You're jumping. You are taking a quantum leap, Sagittarius. Jumping from this Five of Earth energy, not knowing your worth, feeling stuck, allowing yourself to be this princess or prince locked away. That's another thing. It's not even just relationships that do this. Sometimes people get into like cults that do this, religious cults that do this. You know, I was just watching something about this. The Mormons, some of them have a ritual where the women cover their face and raise their left hand to the sky and basically are summoning down their divine feminine power. And they are asked to hold the hands of the men to the right of them. What they're doing is transmuting. It's magic. It is literally magic. They are taking their divine feminine power and giving it to the men, having it siphoned away from them. And a lot of religions, a lot of cultures, not to get onto a feminist tangent here, a lot of religions, a lot of cultures, a lot of people, unconsciously or consciously, siphon magic and energy away from other people. It is the craziest thing. And it doesn't just happen to women either. It happens to men all the time as well. You know, in different ways usually. I feel like with men it's a lot less systematic, a lot less ingrained into certain groups, religions, cults, things like that. Because divine feminine magic is extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. The intuitive connection to all that is, the sensitivity to energy. There's a magic there. But this happens to men as well, you know, getting stuck in family thinking, getting stuck in toxic abusive relationships, friend groups even, communities, jobs, whatever. There's so many people that try to siphon away the light of those who have the audacity to be themselves and to live their light, their authenticity. And I see you stepping more and more and more into that authenticity with healthy boundaries this time. Because that's what happens. It's a cycle. When you're a child, usually you are authentic. But the thing is, you don't have boundaries. You're naive as a young person. And so many people prey upon that naivety and siphon away the light, the magic, the love, the authenticity. Because you didn't have any boundaries. And then as an adult, when you look back at those woundings, you have to heal them. And in healing them, you learn boundaries. And there should be a revival after that, where you're able to go back to that authenticity, but this time protecting yourself. And I see you doing that, Sagittarius. And Spirit is saying this is a week of doing that. This is a week of processing those old wounds. Yeah, okay, the card that just fell onto the floor, if I could get it, is the Two of Air. Bringing back balance, peace, harmony. Two of Air, Two of Swords. Sometimes it's viewed as a bad card, but it's really not a bad card. It's peace. It's inaction. It is surrender. It is saying, I am protecting my heart. I am choosing peace. I am not getting involved in anyone's lives that do not serve me, you know. I'm not getting involved in anyone else's healing journey. You know, that's for you, and my healing journey is for me. And I feel like you're no longer going to connect with people who try to force you to heal them, trying to siphon away your healing energies. You know, it's like everyone is all on their own healing journey, but we're all walking each other home. It's just, there are some people who try to siphon your energy away from your journey, away from your journey of growth, self-discovery, experiences, and they try to get you to pour and pour and pour into them, making them the center of your attention, the center of your emotional body. And then you're so focused on them and what can I do to heal them and how can I get them to notice me, how can blah, 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 that life is passing you by. And the money that you wanted to make, the dreams that you wanted to have, the places you wanted to visit and see, they go left on the back burner, being pushed off and pushed off and pushed off the more that you center someone else's existence as your own. Okay, final cards out. Hierophant, beautiful spiritual power. 5 of water right underneath that 5 of earth. And temptation with the devil. I am telling you guys, Sagittarius, I'm not trying to scare you by saying someone's trying to siphon your energy, because I think most people are victims of this at big chunks of their life. And you are having an awakening, waking up to your worth, waking up to what you have to offer. You never really thought about it. It's not that you didn't realize, you just never thought about it, like what you have to offer as a human being, how valuable your emotions are when you feel for somebody, you know, when you share the vulnerable parts of you, however you define those vulnerable parts, because they're all different for everyone. when you share those vulnerable parts of yourself with people, like that is a gift that is extremely divine, and you're starting to wake up to that fact. Learn how to protect that part of you and select the right people to share that gift with. Okay, because there is devil energy here. There is temptation energy here. People trying to siphon that. And you're waking up. So beautiful reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely watch for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs to get the fullest overview of this week ahead. Like this video, comment how it resonated down below, and subscribe to the channel if you've not already. If you want a personal reading with me, one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there and spiritual life coaching sessions there, so check it out. Bye-bye.